Well, cool. Anyway, hope you're all well, and not too much of a preamble this morning. We're going to sort of go straight into a practice, and this morning I'm going to guide you through something called a yoga nidra, which you might have practiced before, you might not have done. The good thing about it is they're generally very relaxing and revitalizing, and sometimes it's said, whether this is true or not, that 30 minutes of yoga nidra is equivalent to 4 hours of sleep. So you get an extra sort of refresh and recharge before you start your day. You don't have to do anything in it. It's often described as conscious relaxation. Um, so the body is basically allowed to sleep, but the consciousness remains present, and all you have to do is follow my words. So it's quite important that you don't interpret that as doing what I tell you to do. You're literally just following instructions or following the sound of my voice. Yeah. And as with any practice, if at any time you're not enjoying it or you feel unusual or uncomfortable, you just open your eyes, rub your face, rub your hands. Remember, it's always your practice, it's not my practice. Yeah. The good thing about doing yoga nidra first thing is actually you're less likely to fall back to sleep again. Whereas often if you practice it of an evening, which people tend to, it's very hard to stay awake because we sort of float between states of wakefulness and sleeping. Anyway, that's just a little introduction. Hopefully the practice speaks for itself. If you haven't done it before, I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, all you need to do is make yourself comfy, make sure you're warm as ever. You can do this sitting up or lying down, it doesn't matter, but lying down is fine if you fancy that today. Good. And we just start in a very similar way to normal. So we always just start by just grounding ourselves or anchoring ourselves down, coming to the familiar breath, noticing that the breath is there. And in those early moments, it's very common for us to just jump and skip between noticing the breath and being distracted by a thought or itchy head or itchy back or something else. So this initial stage is really important, where we add a small amount of effort just to try and harness our focus so it's not wandering all over the place. You might count 5 breaths down. You might follow your breath around the shape of a box or an egg or a circle in your head. You might just follow the breath or the sound of the breath, whatever works for you. Do keep coming back to your focus over and again. And we set at this point, as we start to settle, a simple reminder for ourselves. So just internally 3 times, just repeat to yourself, I will not fall asleep during Yoga Nidra. I will not fall asleep during this Yoga Nidra. I will not fall asleep during this Yoga Nidra. might also feel at this point that a spontaneous intention becomes clear. This is sometimes called a sankalpa. And it's not like you consciously decide, today I'm not going to eat any sweets. It might be something that just spontaneously arises. Sometimes they call it a heartfelt desire. Something that you just know is important for you to have as a focus. And it can just be for today. And if one doesn't arise, that's completely fine as well. We don't need to go hunting for one. Sometimes they just appear from nowhere, and it's very obvious that that should be your focus. And if one does arise, just take a few breaths to solidify that intention. And if one doesn't arise, you can just enjoy being conscious with your breath for a few moments, which is just as powerful. We're going to start today by taking all our awareness to the left thumb, to the thumb on your left hand. Completely aware of only your left thumb. Allowing that awareness to move to the first finger, second finger, third finger, and the little finger. Palm of your left hand, the top of your left hand, your left wrist, the spaces inside the wrist between the bones, spreading up the left forearm, the bottom of the forearm, top of the forearm, the crease of your left elbow, the outside of the elbow, the space in between the elbow joint, top of the arm, bicep, the underside and the sides of the upper arm, and the left shoulder, sitting in the shoulder socket. On the next breath out, completely letting go of your left arm, wrist, hand, fingers and thumb, as if they don't belong to you anymore. All awareness comes to the thumb on the right hand, the first finger of the right hand, the second finger, the third finger, the little finger, allowing it to spread to the palm of the right hand, the top of the hand, the right wrist, the spaces inside the wrist joint, the lower arm, and the top and the bottom, the crease of the right arm at the elbow, the outside of the right elbow, the upper part of the right arm, the top, the bottom, and the sides of the upper arm, the right shoulder, and the shoulder joint where it sits in the socket. And on the next breath out, completely letting go of the right arm, wrist, hand, thumb and fingers, as if they don't belong to you anymore. And all attention moves down to the big toe on your left foot. Moving your focus to the big toe on your left foot. And the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, your little toe, the spaces between the toes on the left foot, the sole of your left foot, the top of the left foot, the left ankle, the inside and outside, spaces inside the ankle joint, your calf muscle, the back of the lower leg, the shin at the front of the lower leg, the crease of the left knee, the front of the left knee, the back of your thigh, the front of your thigh, the inside and outside of the thigh at the same time, the hip, the left side of your pelvis, and the left hip socket. And on the next relaxed exhale, completely letting go of your left leg, pelvis, knee, foot, toes, as if it doesn't belong to you anymore. All attention shifts to the big toe on your right foot, bringing all of your awareness to the big toe on your right foot. as that spreads to the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, the little toe, the sole, the bottom of the left foot, the top of the left foot, the inside and the outside, my apologies, of the right foot, the lower part of the right leg, the calf muscle, the shin, the inside and outside edges, the back of the right knee, the front of the right knee, moving up into the thigh, the front of the thigh, the back of the thigh, the inside and outside edges, the right hip and the right side of the pelvis, the hip socket, and a completely relaxed breath out, just releasing the right leg, knee, ankle, foot and toes, as if they don't belong to you anymore. Your awareness shifts up from the pelvis, moving in to the belly button area, space below your belly button, space above the belly button, the spaces at the side of the lower body on the left below the ribs, and on the right side below the ribs, spreading around to the lowest part of the back, gently moving up into the left side of the rib cage, the right side of the rib cage, the front of the rib cage, the chest on the left side, the chest on the right side, the left shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade, both shoulder blades together, the space between the neck and the left shoulder, space between the neck and the right shoulder, and on the next relaxed breath out, releasing the entire body from the neck down to the hands, the feet, as if it doesn't belong to you anymore. And you slowly shift your attention to the front of your throat, the left side of your neck, the right side of your neck, the back of your neck, your jaw, your chin, the bottom row of teeth, the tongue heavy inside your mouth, the roof of your mouth, the inside of the left cheek, the inside of the right cheek, top teeth, bottom lip, top lip, the left nostril, right nostril, both nostrils together, left ear, your right ear, both ears together, your left eye, the eyeball heavy in the socket, left eyelid at the top, left eyelid at the bottom, both eyelids on the left side, the right eyeball heavy in the socket, right eyelid at the bottom, right eyelid at the top, both eyelids together, your left eyebrow, your right eyebrow, both eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, your forehead, your entire scalp, your hair, and on the next peaceful breath out, letting go of your entire head, face, neck, allowing your body to be completely at rest. No need to return to it for a few moments. And all that remains is your breath, the sound of my voice, the feeling of deep rest, knowing that there's nothing that needs to be attended to or done right now. Just taking a few completely rejuvenating or refreshing breaths in this space. Knowing that you don't need to be interested in any other worries or concerns at this moment. And if your original intention comes back to mind, or one that you might have set at the beginning, or maybe one spontaneously arises now that you might want to focus on for the day, then you can just take a few breaths to consolidate or solidify that intention, whatever it might be. And if there wasn't one, that's totally fine as well. Now noticing the breath reappear, take all of your awareness back to your breathing. We're just going to allow it to slowly wake that connection back up to our body. So we might count up 4 or 5 slow breaths from 0 upwards. Each breath refreshing us, filling our body with fresh energy, leaving us ready for the day as we start to notice our hands and legs, feet and arms, fingers and toes, slowly coming back to life, just where you left them, giving them a gentle wiggle, maybe taking a stretch if you need to, rubbing your face, your hands together, whatever works for you as you start to notice the room around you, ground underneath you again. And remember, it can always take a few moments just to emerge again, just like we've been in a deep sleep. So it can take a little while to wake back up. It's perfectly normal. Normally perfectly awake by the time you've had a cup of tea. You might even find you need a biscuit. Any excuse. Yeah, I hope that was useful. That was a fairly short Yoga Nidra. It can go on a lot longer than that, but that's sort of probably a nice amount of time just to go through the body.